This week we're going to highlight the latest crop condition ratings and weather trends in the U.S. Then we're going to turn our attention to South America, where we're looking at a very active harvest pace in Brazil. Then we're going to come back to the U.S. and looking at a strong export sales pace as the old crop year winds down. We're going to wrap things up with a long-term review of December corn futures. Hi, this is Brian Bastine with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved in the middle of July here, and of course it's time for corn pollination. Let's take a look at the latest crop condition updates from the USDA. The USDA came out on Monday of this week and said that good to excellent ratings were unchanged at 74%. Notice last year, however, was at 68%, so we're looking at a crop that's significantly above last year at this point in time. Let's take a look at the historical crop condition index here. Again, this crop condition index was stable this week, but at a relatively high level. Notice over the last 10 years, only one year, 2016, has a higher index for early July. Let's start turning our attention to corn silking here. Basically, we're looking at the middle of July as an active time period for corn pollination. On average, U.S. corn silking increases approximately 44% between July 13th and July 27th. Of course, that makes weather very critical this time of year. Let's take a look at the short-term trends. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're starting out here with a bit of a backdrop. We're looking at the last 30 days of precip here, more of a proxy for subsoil moisture across the U.S. Notice across that western belt in particular, all that green area, it's slightly wet, which is ideal for corn pollination in terms of subsoil levels. Now, as we move a little bit further east here, it's a bit dry in parts of central Illinois. It has been a bit dry, and parts of northern Indiana. But some of those areas did catch some rains recently that at least recharged the topsoil moisture. Let's now look at rainfall trends for this week, specifically looking at rainfall through Friday. Now we're looking at that green area there, mostly west of the Mississippi and north, looking at some ample amounts, a ½ inch to 1.5 inches. This is through Tuesday night. We're taping on Tuesday. Tuesday night and again on Wednesday, some heavy amounts, but all the way through the end of the week. Now let's look ahead to July 19th to the 24th. Saturday through next Thursday. Now we're looking here at further north, all that green area, encircled if you will, has a potential for thunderstorms as we move through mid-July. Now as we move further south, however, it's going to warm all across that orange area. It's uncertain how long the heat will last, but it does look like there's some heat moving in next week. Let's now look at cumulative precipitation over the next 2 weeks. Now the next 2 weeks here, you can see there's quite a bit of green on this chart, this map. That means it's slightly wet, which is ideal for corn pollination. Again, it's pressured this corn market moving into mid-July. Let's shift gears now and focus on Brazil. Let's look at harvest progress. Now, Brazil is actively harvesting as we speak, nationwide at 41.67%. That's trailing last year. It was very aggressive, 74%. Looking at Mato Grosso, for example, the largest state at 59%. As expected, USDA increased Brazil crop size 2 million tons in the supply-demand report, and more increases are possible, and exports are set to increase in August and September. Speaking of exports, let's take a look at U.S. exports. Now, the old crop year only has a month and a half left here, but you can see from this chart a very strong amount of unshipped books still remaining. So we're going to highlight here the exports from Brazil for July are forecast at about 1.4 million tons, and that's 80 million below last year. This does offer some support for a continued respectable U.S. program the rest of July. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in December corn. December corn, as we tape here on Tuesday, has bounced a bit. It's trading near $4.25 a bushel. Here's the key message. Notice between mid-July and harvest, quite a bit of potential for volatility as we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years. That's why it's critical that you continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an update. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.